If you love your loved one, to say, hallelujah. We magnify your name. Yeah, yeah. If you woke you up, the Alpha, Omega. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Say hallelujah. Emmanuel.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. All right, we thank children and adults for those three selections. Praise the Lord. Praise the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everybody that's here in the name of Jesus. Peace to everybody tuning in online. We are, of course, this is the weekly Sabbath, 7th day of the week, so we recognize that every seventh day. And but it's also toward the end of the Feast of Tabernacles, the 6th day. So we also recognize that the Lord said feast for 7 days and climaxing on the 8th day. So we do good to do that. It's climaxing everything. The world is going to end at this time of year. And concerning Israel, we've had lessons during this season, going back to we start off with the more of a blowing of the trumpets. And the trumpet is going to blow on, the seventh trumpet is going to blow, signaling the end of the world. And we know the last one is going to blow on the Day of Atonement, which we celebrated. And that's the day where the Lord is going to really kick it off and proceed to conquer this world. After that, he's going to gather his people. And even his people that's in the grave, he's going to wake them up. So that's a great thing to celebrate. And that's what the gathering tabernacles is pointing to. We had a lesson dealing with at the beginning. I'm going to change this mic because this one acted up again. Had a lesson dealing with at the beginning. We're leaving, before the feast started, I actually did a lesson just to get into it. We're leaving slavery soon. And that's what the Lord said. That's mind-blowing to the average person who don't really understand the Bible. You don't think the Lord is dealing with a particular people, let alone a particular people that's been hated by everybody and discarded, don't nobody care about, still getting shot down in the streets today by themselves, by other people. You don't think God has nothing to do with that, but that's exactly what God's business is. He's going to deliver Israel. So we got a lot to do today on this Sabbath, feast day. We're going to have a battle. I didn't hear back from the wife, so that just worked out. So we can take care of all that. One swoop. Had a young lady. We don't put people on Front Street, but we did have a young lady that came all the way from Houston to get baptized, so we're going to do that. If you haven't met her yet, you'll see her when she's going under the water. And so we're going to get into it. And being that this is the season when the Lord is going to save his people, this lesson is showing you briefly how he's going to reverse the curse that he put on his people. And not only that, it's a curse on all of mankind. So it's not just, that's why I say what's good for Israel is going to benefit everybody. It's a curse on all of mankind because we all been cursed with death ever since Adam sinned. But this is the good news. And this is why we having the celebration of the feast. The Lord is showing you the good news that he's doing for you, that he's going to effect for you. That's why last night we started off with a lesson, forget your problems, enjoy the feast. Forget your problems, because when the stuff that we are celebrating come to pass, all your little be rejoicing in spite of whatever you're dealing with. Everybody dealing with something. I don't even have to know. In spite of whatever you're dealing with, you should be putting that to the side and forgetting about that and focusing on God's plan, because when God's plan come to pass, those little problems will be over with anyway. So this is why he give you this. You got something to look forward to. That's what Nehemiah told the people. We read that last night, Nehemiah, the 8th chapter. That was on the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. He told the people because they were sad when they realized their predicament according to the scriptures. How bad they had been and why they was in such dire straits coming home from slavery. They got real sad on that day and was grieved. And that's what Nehemiah and Ezra told them. Don't be sad on this day, because that was a holy day, the memorial blowing of the trumpet. Don't be sad, but let the joy of the Lord be your strength, and rejoice. Eat good and drink, and that's what we're going to do today. Eat good and drink. Celebration where he said don't eat, afflict yourself, but even that's a celebration. Let alone when he said eat, drink, and be happy. So we're going to get into it. The curse reversed through obedience, because obedience is the key to all things. That's why we're here on the 7th day. That's why we recognize the 6th day of Tabernacles. It's about obedience. That's what got us in trouble. We've been trying everything to get out of this terrible predicament as a people. I'm talking about Israel that's cursed. But nothing has worked. I mentioned last night how, they started, marched again. I guess the year I was born, they had a big march on Washington. That was 1963. And then somebody thought it was needful to have another big march on Washington some 30-something years after that. That was 1995. But we still, I guess we need to do another march, because the problem has not been solved. We still curse, we still suffering. Seems like more than ever lately, police still shooting unarmed Israelites. So the problem hasn't been solved because we haven't figured out what the real problem is. It's not the white man, it's not no man. It's that our ancestors sinned against God and God cursed us. He put us under divine sentence. And he tell you why he did it, for our disobedience, and the only way to make things better and totally reverse this curse is to start obeying him. The curse reversed through obedience. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. And this is a short lesson. We're going to get into it, not really stay long. But you can deal with it much more in depth, because there's so much just in this chapter that show you. See, people don't like to deal with curses, though. That's the thing. We like to try to ignore it like it's going to go away. But that don't happen. And like I like to always point out, you can try to ignore a curse, but there is no such thing as a blessing, brothers. So there is no blessing unless there's a such thing as a curse. You don't know what a blessing means unless you can understand what people need to really curse you. And we don't give God that credit. We like to say God do all the good stuff, or when the bad stuff happened, oh, see, the devil did that. And he do it, but God allowed him to do it. God has a terrible predicament for our transgressions. The curse reversed through obedience. Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. Go ahead, my brother.
And it shall come to pass that thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
See, now, this is what the Lord said before Israel made it to the promised land. They were still in the desert, right here, when Moses gave them this information. And the Lord had told them what it took to be blessed. And it's all about obedience. And we're going to find that is still good to this day, brothers and sisters. We want to be blessed without doing anything. But God has requirements to obtain his blessings. And if you don't obtain his blessings, there's only one thing left, and that's being cursed by him. So to start off good, he said, "This should come to pass if thou shalt hearken." But notice it's an if there. That lets you know it's something else. As my teachers would say sometimes, laying in the bushes. All right, brother Boy, how you doing? How you doing? I'm doing okay, Elijah, but I know something laying in the bushes for me. So it's something in the bushes here. It's something right there, because he said, if. That means it's something else. It shall come to pass that thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God. But it's an if to observe and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations. Read verse 2 again.
And all these blessings shall
All
come
these blessings, you won't even be able to receive them. You're just going to be overflowing with blessings, he lets you know. But the stipulation was for obedience. All these blessings shall come on thee and what?
and overtake
And just take you over. You know, that's what people say sometimes, but they don't want to acknowledge the flip side.
hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Go ahead, verse 3.
Blessed thou be in the city,
Uh-huh.
and blessed thou be in the field.
Blessed wherever you at, you're going to be blessed. Blessed you be in the city, blessed thou be in the field. Now skip down, because where there's a blessing, there's a possibility, at least a possibility of a curse, brothers and sisters. Verse 15, read it.
But it shall come to pass,
There go the but and another if. Go ahead.
if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
See, if you're going to acknowledge that God got the capabilities to bless you, brothers and sisters, you have to acknowledge that he has the capabilities to curse you. You can't have one without the other. And he's telling you he's the one going to make it happen. If you obey me, I'm going to bless you. If you disobey me, I am going to curse you. He said, you don't observe to do all this commandments and statutes I command you this day, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Go ahead, verse 16.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, wherever you at. So, you know, Israel thought, you know, they was going to leave down south and not be cursed no more. You know, they was in the country down south. Well, we're going to go up north. That's fine. You're going to find a curse up there too. Because that's what the Lord said. The Lord is God everywhere. But when you don't attribute things to God and think it's something that man has manufactured, you don't recognize that God controls everything. And that's what we have to look for. That's the solution we have to look for. Skip down to verse 45, though, because he lets you know this is going to be a way of life once you mess up. And we did mess up. Daniel tells you in Daniel 9, we're not going to read it, that the curse that Moses spoke about, the oath in the law of Moses, had been poured out on us. Daniel was a slave in Babylon. Because that's the big part of the curse, brothers, taken off into captivity. That's why God, in his being omnipotent, he gave us the Feast of Tabernacles, pointing to us being gathered from captivity, from slavery. Verse 45, read it, my brother.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee.
Again, he's talking curses. We can't act like this not in the Bible. Some people get offended when you read, why are you reading about that? Look, you need to know about that, so you can at least avoid it. I don't want to be cursed. I didn't wake up wanting to be cursed. I wouldn't, I didn't have no say so. We was born into this world cursed. Because God promised it and God cannot lie. So he's telling you right here, brothers and sisters. Moreover, all these curses, and he named a whole litany of curses. You name it, he said it's going to happen to you. That's how we know we the people of this Bible, because you name it, it has happened to us. From being hid in prison houses to just being killed and nobody found guilty. He tell you that in Zechariah 11. He said, you're owned by people in this country. Think about it. It's really only one group of people that's wholesale been owned. Think about that, by somebody else. Even had to take their name. Yep. You've been owned. But in Zechariah 11, he said their possessors, the ones who own you, slay you, kill you, and hold themselves not guilty. Now, in these modern times, technically we're not supposed to be owned, but you still get enslaved, and sometimes, most of the time, people don't even get charged with slaying you, but when they get charged, most of the time, it's going to be not guilty. Because that's what he said. So everything that he put out there has happened to us. Nobody else. But he said all these curses going to come upon you. They're going to pursue you and overtake thee till thou what?
Till thou be destroyed.
Till thou be destroyed. Yeah. That's destroyed as a people, and here we are. We don't know who we are, where we're from. We destroyed. We still here. He made sure he saved the remnant, but as a people, for all practical purposes, we are destroyed. We lost. Till you be destroyed. Why though? Can you blame somebody else? Can you blame your oppressors? No, God making them do it. Go ahead.
To keep his commandments and statutes which he commanded thee.
That's the reason for the curses. And God allowed people to do it. And when his time is up, like we showed, we leave in slavery, God is going to deal with the people who've done it. Just like when we're going to see in this lesson, God is going to reverse our situation and we will be blessed again. But he only dealing with the ones who repent and obey him. That's who he's dealing with. Verse 46 though, read it.
And they shall be upon thee.
Now they meaning the curses, brothers and sisters, because that's what he said in verse 45. All these curses will come on you and pursue you, overtake you till you be destroyed. That's what we're talking about. Curse. When you get to verse 15, but it's a way out of it, but you have to figure out what got you in trouble and disobedience. So all these curses gonna come on you to pursue you and overtake you. That's why he said, and they, meaning the curses, shall be upon thee for what?
For a sign.
For a sign. That's how you identify the people of the Bible who fit this. They got the sign on them. You don't know their name. They can be Negro, colored, Afro-American. They can change names every week. But what's identified them is that they are cursed. It's for a sign, and what else?
And for a wonder.
And how long?
And upon thy seed forever.
That means it's going to last to the end. Only way we're going to get out of this, Jesus is going to have to come back. The world going to end before we get out of this. And that's what this feast is pointing you to, brothers. So, to Deuteronomy 30. He told you right here, all together, chapters right here. Deuteronomy 30, verse 1. He told you, blessings for obedience, though. Curses for disobedience. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, and the blessing and the curses which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Lord thy God has driven thee. And thou shalt return unto the Lord thy God.
Now look at this, brothers and sisters. This is clear cut. He says, it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee. The blessing and the curse. He got them right here together. So you can't take one and say, well, the other one is not even possible when God tells it to you both of them in one sentence. But the good news is, just like he said he would bless you for obedience and then curse you for disobedience, he left room for us to repent and obey again and get from under the curse and get blessed again. That's why the title of the lesson is simply The Curse Reversed Through Obedience. And this is a shame because first of all, in the average church that people go to, most of our people, Israel, they don't even want to acknowledge no curse. That's even possible. They act like, God not in that business. And then they definitely don't even want to obey God. So you don't want to acknowledge what's so clearly happening to you, and you doing the thing that's going to make it keep happening to you. But you don't want to even acknowledge that it's happening to you. That God is in control of it anyway. You don't want to know. That's sad. But he said here, it should come to pass when all these things that come upon thee, the blessing, he promised at first. He only left 14 verses for that. I guess he knew we was going to mess up quick. Be cursed a long time. The blessing and the curse, which I said before thee, and what you going to do, you're going to call it to mind. That means you're going to be and had amnesia for a long time, not even knowing who you are. That fits nobody but one group of people that's lost, don't even have a homeland. We like, they said in one of the movies, we as people, we like a ship sailing with no place to dock. You can't even say, well, where you got to dock at home when you just going to be going around in circles. Because we don't know where home is. But he told you, this is good news. He said, after you've been blessed for a while, and now you're under the curse, in your captivity, in your slavery, you're going to start to wake up. That's what he means when he said, you're going to call it to mind among all the nations whither, that means where, the Lord thy God have driven thee, and your answer is to do one thing. Verse 2, once you start waking up and find out who you are as a people, your job is not to stand on the corner and curse other people out, first of all. That's not your job description. Your job is to make sure you start obeying God. Verse 2.
And shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee.
That's it. Return to the Lord your God and obey his voice. According to what?
All that I command thee this day.
Keep his commandments that he commanded back in the day. Go ahead.
That thou,
and who else?
And thy children.
And thy children. The Lord has blessed us with a school to even teach the children fully how to obey the Lord. Because that's important, because unless the Lord comes, none of us, we ain't going to live forever. So you have to pass it down. Thou and thy children with what?
With all thine heart and with all thy soul.
Then what's going to happen? Now you scattered out when you start to do this among these nations, like he just said. Go ahead. What's going to happen in verse 3?
That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity.
Turn thy captivity means bring you home from slavery. That's what he means, turn it around. You went off into captivity, he's going to turn it and bring you back. In other words, is what the title is, he's going to reverse it. He's reversed the curse that's put on you. That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and do what?
And have compassion upon thee.
Oh, we need that. Go ahead.
And will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether the Lord thy God has scattered.
See, that's why we had the lesson, we're leaving slavery soon. This is what this whole thing is about. This is what the Feast of Tabernacles is about. But at the same time, he's bringing you out from this devastating curse that he put you under. He said he will return, that's none other than Jesus, and gather you from all the nations where the Lord thy God hath scattered thee. Notice he's not going to miss nobody either. Even if you hard-headed and stiff-necked, he's still going to bring you out of slavery, so you won't have a chance to say he just left you there. But then he's going to take you, like we read, and take you to the wilderness and see if you want to listen to him. If you don't, he'll take care of you there. Verse 4.
If any of thine be driven out unto the uttermost parts of heaven.
He said, well, notice the terminology here. He said, if any of yours, wherever they scattered at another, he said, I don't care. See, we don't even know who all Israel is. We can't tell exactly who all is. The only thing we know is it's a dark people that's cursed. But God knows where every last one of us is. He said, if any of yours be driven out to the outmost parts of heaven, and that means the earth, because it's going to be heaven right here on earth. That's what he's about to bring. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. If any of yours be driven out to the outmost parts of heaven, what?
From this will the Lord thy God gather thee.
From thence will he gather thee, hence the Feast of Tabernacles, a.k.a. ingathering. Go ahead.
And from this will he fetch thee.
And from thence will he fetch thee. He's going to bring you back. It don't matter where you scattered at. Verse 5, where you going? Because we've been thinking all these lies. We've been thinking it's about going up to heaven. Look, you better try to figure out it's about a place on this earth, some land on this earth. Even when he make us immortals, the immortals going to be on the earth. Go ahead.
And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed.
Oh, where they got kicked out from. He taking you back. He reversing the cycle. People talk to me sometimes. They say, well, I think I'm under, you heard of generational curses? Okay. Yeah, we've been out here for a generation to generation. Well, what about that? Well, hey, whatever it is, it can be reversed. This is what the Lord is showing you. He didn't curse his people, but if you start obeying him, I'm going to reverse it, and I'm going to ultimately bring you home from that captivity I sent you out in, and bring you to your land. And you're going to possess the same land that your ancestors possessed. That's what he's talking about. He will do thee good and multiply thee, he said, even above thy fathers, meaning your forefathers. Verse 6.
Why did I finish 5?
Okay, finish. Read it over. Start at the top.
And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he will do thee good and multiply thy seed, and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy God will circumcise on thine heart, and the heart of thy seed.
To do what?
To love the Lord thy God with all thy heart. And with all thy soul, that thou mayest live.
Go ahead.
And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies.
Oh, now you're going to put the curses on your enemies, he said. That means they're not on you no more. Go ahead.
And on them that hate thee, which persecute thee.
And his people been hated and persecuted. No doubt about it. Go ahead.
And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord.
But you're going to obey the voice of the Lord. He's going to fix it when you know that's the thing you need to do. That's what got you in trouble. That's what's going to help to ease the pain now, which it already does when you know God and obey him. He said, I'll be a little sanctuary for you. And that helps now until you get totally delivered and this curse is totally reversed. You're going to know what's important. He said, thou shalt return, obey the voice of the Lord, and do what?
And do all his commandments.
Same commandments everybody want to do away with it. That's the key to reversing the curse. Go ahead.
Which I command thee this day.
Okay, go to Matthew 24, and let's show you that none other than Jesus is the one that's going to effect this. Bring the people back from slavery. We read this repeatedly, and it brings everything together. It brings, starting off with the memorial, the blowing of the trumpets, which we celebrated about 3 weeks ago. It brings it all home. Matthew 24 and verse 29, the world is about to experience great tribulation like it's never been, but then that's when Jesus got to step in. 24 and 29, read it.
Immediately after the tribulation of those days,
Shall what?
Shall the sun be dark, and the moon shall not give her light.
Go ahead.
And the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
Only one day can get that bad. We ain't never say, I heard some brothers trying to say, well, that kind of happened before. You ain't never say nothing like this happened. It's only going to happen once. He said the sun going to get dark, the moon, after tribulation, the sun going to be dark, the moon not going to give a light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. And we know it haven't happened because the Lord haven't came yet, made his second coming, verse 30.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
He's coming back. He's coming to take over too. That's why it stipulates he's coming with power and great glory, brothers and sisters. He's not, and people make like it's a rapture. He's not coming to rapture nobody nowhere. He's coming to take over. We understand now from celebrating the memorial, the blowing of the trumpets, down through the atonement to this Feast of Tabernacles, that when that trumpet blown, that last trumpet, he's taken over the world like he took over Jericho back in the day when those 7 priests blew trumpets. We know what's going on here. Can't nobody deceive us, make us think it's some small stuff like a secret rapture. That's why I said they're going to see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And at the top of his agenda is them people that's been scattered in slavery. Go ahead, verse 31.
And he shall send his angel with a great sound of a trumpet.
There go the trumpet I've been referring to. The angel's going to blow trumpets this time, not 7 priests, but go ahead.
And they shall gather together his elect from the 4 winds.
They're going to gather together his chosen. He deal with all people, but he started with his chosen people. They're going to gather together his chosen, his elect, from where?
From the 4 winds.
That's the terminology at the end of this, though. What?
From one end of heaven to the other.
From one end of heaven to the other. That's exactly what Moses said. It's basically a quote, because he had Moses saying, when you coming out of that captivity, he don't care if any of you are scattered to the outmost parts of heaven. From thence will he gather you, and from thence will he fetch you. He's not going to leave no stone unturned to bring Israel back. That's why Jesus, this is Jesus talking. Everybody said they believe in Jesus, but evidently they don't believe this. They don't believe in the trumpets that he's talking about going to be blown. They don't believe in him gathering his people at the sound of that trumpet. They don't believe in none of that. They don't understand that there's one people been cursed like none other, and he's going to totally reverse that when he do this. Let's go back to the Old Testament, Zephaniah 3. Zephaniah 3. See, but he's only interested in saving the people who repent, brothers and sisters. See, people make like you don't have to do nothing, you don't have to obey God. Those are the only ones Jesus is coming to save. The ones that have submitted themselves. Zephaniah 3. Those are the ones he's going to gather. Zephaniah 3, pick it up at 14. Zephaniah 3 and verse 14. All of it's been foretold. The New Testament just reiterated it. Let you know, yeah, all that stuff is true. It's going to happen. Go ahead.
Sing, O daughter of Zion.
See, it's something to be happy about when he do this, because that's what it's taking you to. The same time Jesus was just saying, he going to send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. They're going to gather together his elect from the four winds. It'll be some singing. Time to sing then, for real. Go ahead.
Shout, O Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all the heart.
Why?
O daughter of Jerusalem. The Lord hath taken away thy judgment.
He have taken away thy judgment. In other words, he's been punishing you, and now he's going to stop punishing you. So it's time to sing and rejoice over this. The Lord hath taken away thy judgments. Go ahead.
He hath cast out thine enemy. The King of Israel, even the Lord is in the midst of thee. Thou shalt not see evil anymore.
So you're not going to see evil no more. And notice he said the King of Israel. Who is that? That's Jesus. That's the one coming to save his people. That's what people that act like Jesus don't care about Israel no more. He's totally separated. That's not the case. This king, he's King of kings and Lord of lords. This is him. That's why he was always recognized as the King of the Jews when he walked earth. Matter of fact, that's the thing that Pilate put over his death, over his cross when he died. He put Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews, in multiple languages. Even when he was a baby, the wise men came looking for who? King of the Jews. Where is he that is born King of the Jews? See, people that disassociated Jesus, but this is what Jesus is about. This is him. That's why he said he's like that trumpet. So he said, in that day, go ahead, what verse 16?
Yes.
In that day, go ahead.
In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem,
do what?
Fear not, fear thou not. And to Zion, let not thine hands be slack.
Go ahead.
The Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing.
See, it's a joyous time, and this is what we celebrate. We recognize in this time when he's going to gather his people. So that's why we can put aside all the issues, all the problems, and we can focus on what this feast stands for. Even when the Sabbath day stands for. To acknowledge it and celebrate it. Go ahead, verse 18.
I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly.
See, I will gather them because we sad. We going through sad and sorrowful times now. We just putting it off for this week. It'll be back Tuesday. You got plenty of time to get back to business and be sad. Probably need to get back like they did. I'm going to show you how they did in Ezra, Nehemiah 9. After Nehemiah 8, they kept the trumpets. They kept the Feast of Tabernacles. They would celebrate. They was happy. Nehemiah and the priest told them, don't be sad, be happy. And then as soon as you get to the 9th chapter, they say they was back out there fasting with sackcloth on. So we'll be back to that in a minute. Because that's the state of the union for us right now, but that's okay. We're looking forward to all this joy and this goodness. That's what we acknowledge. He said, I will gather them. They go to gathering, but who? Them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly. That's what these solemn assemblies point to. He said, I'm going to gather them for that real solemn assembly. Go ahead.
Who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was at birth.
See, the ones that realize that this thing is from God, and we agonize, and not that we don't understand God's will, but we understand that we sinned against God, and it's our fault. But go ahead.
Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee.
See, God be using some terminology, boy. That's what you know. This is Israel too. Israel come up with this type of stuff. What he said? He said, at that time, behold, at that time I will undo. That's something only Jason come over. He said, you, I'm gonna undo you. We'll reverse anything. He said, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee. Go ahead.
And I will save her that hope.
And I will save her that's been limping around. Go ahead.
and gather her that was driven out. And I will give them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame.
See, he's going to reverse it. This is a total reverse. He said, I'm going to give them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. Now, who been put to shame more in this country than anybody else? It's not even hard to figure it out. Who get plastered on the news when they so-called commit a crime? Other people, you be trying to figure out who they are. I wonder if that, and you know they don't put the picture up there, you say, yeah, they ain't black. We know that. But we've been put to shame. But it's because I see it, but we've been put to shame. God said, don't get you praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. Verse 20.
At that time will I bring you again.
He's bringing you home again. Go ahead.
Even in the time that I gather you.
Because this is the Feast of Ingathering. That's what it stands for. Go ahead.
For I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth.
Now this haven't happened yet, brothers and sisters. We're going to know it when it happens. Among all people of the earth, when I do what?
When I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord.
That's going to be amazing. People been in slavery forever. Don't even know who they are, where they from, all over the world. Not just, see, we get caught up on just this country, because we did. Now, it's worldwide. He said, that's why he said, in all the countries, I'm going to get you praise and fame when you've been put to shame. He said, when I turn back your slavery, that's what captivity, slavery, when I bring you home, before your eyes, said the Lord. Zechariah 8. Zechariah 8. Zechariah 8. And we're going to pick it up at verse 7. Zechariah 8. And we're going to pick it up at verse 7. Go ahead, read it.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country. I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of the Jerusalem.
See, he's talking about saving his people from slavery again. He said, thus said the Lord, I am going to save my people, he said, from the west, from the east country, and from the west country. Other places show you north, south. He said the four winds in Matthew 24. And I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. Because that was the capital when we got kicked out. And he's going to reestablish it. And they shall be my people. Go ahead.
And I will be their God in truth and in righteousness.
Okay, same time, skip to verse 13. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that as ye were a curse among the heathen, O house of Judah, and house of Israel.
So what?
So it will be, so will I save you.
And what's going to happen then?
And ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong.
See, this is where the title of the lesson pretty much directly come from. What he said, it shall come to pass that as ye were accursed among the heathen in all these nations where we scattered at, and we have been cursed. It's evident that we've been cursed. That's why it don't take no time when we break in a neighborhood, the other people start packing up. Because they know it's something bad coming. They don't know why, but they know it's going to be some problem. Look, we moving. Next thing you know, the neighborhood has changed. So, we've been cursed, but this is going to change. It's going to be reversed. It shall come to pass that as ye were cursed among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and you shall be a blessing. We can't even imagine people going to be desired to be around us. They're going to be showing nothing but love for us. Come on, I'm going with you. I know God got this with you. He said, you're going to be a blessing. That's a total reversal. Fear not. Go ahead.
But let your hands be strong.
Well, I got to tell you that, because right now you're suffering. But don't worry. Let your hands be strong. 14.
For thus saith the Lord of hosts, as I thought to punish you when your fathers provoked me to wrath.
That's exactly what happened. This is what this is all about. It don't have nothing to do with no other people. We don't even need to be worried about other people. We need to worry about getting our act together with God. That's what we need to worry about. We're worried about all the other people, what they doing. Look, they can't do nothing. If you believe in God, you know God controls everything. Can't nobody do nothing to you unless God allows it.
Right.
So focus on that. That's why we in this predicament. God has been punishing us for starting with what our ancestors did and what we continue to do, and that is disobey him. He said, look, for thus said the Lord of hosts, as I thought to punish you when your fathers provoked me to wrath. Go ahead.
Said the Lord of hosts, and I repent not.
And he haven't repented, boy. He been beating our head big time. But go ahead.
So again have I thought in these days to do well unto Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And to the house of Judah, fear ye not.
Don't fear. He gonna do it. But now, go to Galatians 3, because we're going to turn the corner on this, and we're going to see that that's some great stuff, how he going to reverse the curse, particularly on his people Israel, but he going to reverse the curse on all of mankind, because it's a curse on all mankind, and that is death. Because Israel not the only one sinning. We just more accountable because we should have known better. Because he chose us and showed us, he said, Israel only have I known you for all your iniquity. That's why it don't have no color, it don't have no race, everybody dies due to sins. And we got a baptism today to recognize some people that's repenting from their sin. Ironically, I think we got a sister, two sisters, one is an Israelite and one is a Gentile. Because the gospel is for everybody. So this is the ultimate curse that the Lord is reversing, and that is death on all of mankind. And the same one that's delivering Israel, he's the same one that's delivering all of mankind. Galatians 3, and pick it up at verse 8. Galatians 3 and verse 8. Go ahead and read it.
And the scripture foreseeing that God would justify the heathen through faith, preached before the gospel unto Abraham, saying, in thee shall all nations be blessed. So then they which be of faith are blessed with faithful Abraham.
See, those he said, in thee. See, all nations is everybody. See, we got some people confused about that God was really sending Israelites to the other nations in the New Testament. Look, there's no doubt about it. That's who they was preaching to. They was preaching the other day. They wasn't preaching. They was preaching to lost Israelites, but they also went to lost other nations. And that's what he's talking about here. That's why he's saying, what did he say? God foreseeing, God knowing already what he's going to do. He let Abraham, through Abraham, he had said something. What verse was that? Verse 9. So he said, verse 8, 3 and 8, the scripture foreseeing that God would justify the heathen. Who is a heathen? That ain't nothing but other nations. That ain't got nothing to do with some lost Israelites. God foreseeing that he would justify the heathen through faith. See, we gotta understand too, brothers and sisters, that people rely too much on faith and don't think you need no works with it. But James said it clearly that faith without works is dead. So yeah, faith is good. You got to believe. That's the only way you're going to get saved. But you still got to put that obedience with it. You got to do that. He said in the scripture foreseeing that God would justify the heathen through faith, preached before the gospel unto Abraham, saying, in thee shall all nations be blessed. We all want to be blessed, right? All nations. But all nations have been cursed thus far. None like Israel, but all been cursed with death. Go ahead. Now pick it up at 9 again.
So then they which be of faith are blessed with faithful Abraham.
That's right. Whoever you are, whatever nation is what he's stressing. Go ahead.
For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, curses everyone that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them.
See, he's stressing that Israel was cursed as well, even though they had the law. Because some of them, they weren't cursed back here, and because they knew the Lord, they had the law. Look, when you sin, you still run a curse on yourself. You haven't done it all right. So everybody still needs to be justified by faith. What he's stressing is not just the Gentiles, Israel too, because we sin. That's why he say later on in this chapter, we're not even going to read that far, that the scripture have concluded all under sin. All under sin. And sin is breaking the law. And the wages of breaking the law or sin is death. That's the curse he really had to get us from under. But we cursed again. This curse again is for disobedience. He says, men are under the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, curses everyone that continue not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them. So I know some people nowadays, brothers and sisters, they say they don't need no Jesus. They don't believe. Because you done messed up, and they're not even killing animals. But if they was killing animals for sin, it wouldn't help them. And they're not even doing that, which the law has said. Because you curse. It's everyone that continue not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do. Well, how we get from this curse? The same one that's coming to gather Israel. Go ahead, verse 11.
But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of God. It is evident, for the just shall live by faith.
Right, nobody justified by the law in the sight of God. Nobody. Because we all broke it. Verse 12.
And the law is not faith. But the man that doeth them shall live in them.
That's right. So if you try to live by the law and don't have faith in Jesus, hey, you would have to do everything perfect, and you already missed that boat. Okay. So you can't do it. You're born into sin. You can't do it. So you got to accept Jesus. But the catch is people think you can just accept Jesus and don't do no worse. That's where the problem is. He's commanding you to repent. That's what we have the baptism for. The people realize that they have to repent from their old sinful life and ways. Go ahead, verse 13.
Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law.
Oh, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law. It's all about Christ. He redeemed us from the curse of the law. Whether you be a Jew or a Gentile, go ahead.
Being made a curse for us.
And he was made a curse for us. This is how this curse is reversed. It's all through Jesus. And you still got to obey, because faith without saying you believe in Jesus won't get it. Faith without works is dead. But he's the one. Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written what?
For it is written, curses everyone that hangeth on a tree.
Curses everyone that hangeth from a tree. Let you know that cross was literally a tree that he hung from. He was made a curse for us. He died for our sin. And that's written in Deuteronomy, what he quoting right here. Because they hung people on trees back then in those days for sin. That's why they had a law where you had to get them down before the sundown. That's why even when Jesus was hanging on the tree, they wanted to get him down before sundown. That sundown happened to be a high Sabbath day. They wanted to hurry up, get him down. Because they understood that even just the sight of somebody hanging on a tree, that was a curse. They didn't want to pollute the land like that. By the way, who been hanging on trees even in this country? Which lets you know what? You've been what? Cursed. No doubt about it. So Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree. Go ahead.
That the blessings of Abraham might come on the Gentiles.
Oh, that might come on the Gentiles as well. He dealing with Israel. He got to save Israel because he made an oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But he's going to save the Gentiles as well. Go ahead.
Through Jesus Christ. That we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith.
Through faith. But now go to Romans 1, because I want to show you, because people want to say, see, that's it, brother. It's just through faith now. You talk about that law. We don't need that law. We don't need the Sabbath day. We don't need them tabernacles. We don't need nothing. Look, you want to go carve some pumpkins, though. Want to do away with everything God said, do some man-made stuff. Now, this faith that you have in Jesus does not alleviate your responsibility to obedience. That's what got you in trouble. It's still